So, what if I was to tell you that there are bodies that are buried and stacked on top of each other in a one single lot in a cemetery? What would you think? Welcome to Hear Some Fearsome, everybody, and let's get into today's video. Eastern and Greenwood cemeteries that is located in Louisville, Kentucky, did exactly just that. When I first heard this story, I went, wait a minute, is that even possible to do? You don't disrespect the dead. You just don't do that. The owner of the cemeteries, he decided that it would be in his best interest to plead innocent, not guilty. I think anybody in his situation would, and unfortunately, he was not charged. Which, when you think about it, people who go out and they commit murders, as soon as that person is no longer living, you actually can be basically your ass is going to get in trouble because, for one, you are, it's a term, I believe it's called disrupting a corpse. I believe that's the term of it, because, for one, they cannot defend themselves. They're no longer living, so they have no ways to fight back or to explain themselves. It's just, you just don't do that. And this is exactly what happened. Not one time, not two times, not three times, but up to 60. 60. That is absolutely insane. 60, ranging from, let's see here, from disruptive of graves, abuse of a corpse. That's what I was trying to think of. And failure to maintain trust. Now, what exactly does that mean? What that means is, with a lot of cemeteries, especially with these two, Eastern and Greenwood, whenever a family member would purchase a lot, okay, part of that money goes to the actual service to have the ceremony, the funeral, whether that person wants their family member to be cremated or have a lot, whatever the case is. And then the other portion of it goes into a trust. Now, what that trust is it accumulates the money that you have paid, and it goes to maintaining the cemeteries, maintaining, cutting the grass, making sure that everything is leveled, making sure that things are done proper and in the right way. And with these cemeteries, that was not. It was not at all. And if I'm reading this correctly, the graves, I should say, or the amounts of acres was enough to have 16,000 graves, meaning the amount of acres that they have had could only fill or have enough room for 16,000. But on document, because of course when each person passes away, it has to be documented, 138,000. 138,000. So you go from 16,000 graves to 138,000. Now there's a way you are supposed to bury somebody, okay? And with these cemeteries, they were not done properly. They were not dug down to a certain length, right? There's a reason why we call it, or they call it, 6 feet under. And unfortunately, these places were not maintained at all, to where this is just insane. But the soil and parts of their casket, or even parts of them, were starting to erode up from the ground. Not only that, but little babies who had passed away, who went full term, same thing. Same thing. So the money and the grief that a family member has to go through, you take their money, but then you're gonna bury them on top of somebody else, and then what? Then another person's gonna want to come in, spend just as much amount of money, and then they're gonna bury that person on top of your loved one until when? Till what? It got so bad with these places because, of course, it all has to do with money. It all has to do with money. And even if it was, you know what, trying to do the right thing, trying to give family members a proper burial, it's like, okay, well then, what do? You call for help. You don't try and cover it and hide it and dig up somebody else's grave just to put another person in there. Not only that, but they went as far as actually cutting the bones of these deceased people and putting them in all different places because they had no room. And what do I mean by places? I mean in their business. Let's see here. Their back storage with other people who weren't even categorized. They don't even know who this person is. This person has a leg bone. Oh, this person has a hip bone. But we don't know who they are. And they would mix them. Not only that, but people, once when things started to investigate, there were actual bones that were found in the people that had worked there in McDonald's bags. They're trash. Or thrown in the back seat. A skeleton head. A femur. What? Why? It's ridiculous. You know, I had all of this on what I wanted to say and how I was going to say it. But it's just one of those things where you're just like, wait, what? Like, okay, like, so you're taking their money. You know what you're doing. Here in America, there's a certain way we do things. And when it comes to a family member passing, it's not just about the victim, it's about the family. The family still has to grieve. We all do it differently. But to take people's money and to think, well, I gotta bury this person, like, I can't just, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So instead of me calling for help, instead of me trying to get a hold or calling the general's attorney's office, it's, well, we'll just throw it in the back. We'll just put it in a McDonald's bag and save it for later. Not only that, but there were so many accumulation of bones that they cremated them to the point to where they actually mixed people with other people. They didn't even have their own as one. There were so many of them mixed together. Now, with these charges and everything, the reason why they did not get sued and they literally walked away with not having to do anything is because when you're being sued and if you don't have money, well, then there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. And this went on for years. Not only that, but unfortunately as well, the people, the family members who had to go through the whole just trial of it all as what you have to do in order to give your family member a proper burial. It's very time consuming and it's expensive. That's part of the reason why they charge so much for it, is because, yeah, it's a pretty big space for an individual, which should be priceless, but it is what it is. But unfortunately, that lot is already taken. Oh, no, but nope, we're not going to let other people know. Oh, God, no, we're not going to do that. And that's the thing I don't understand. And the gentleman who took this business over, he knew nothing about funerals. So what I have a problem with is if you don't know what you're doing and you're getting into a business, I don't care if you've got a business degree, whatever. If you don't know what to do or how to handle or how to take care or how to maintain a funeral or even a cemetery, you should not be doing it. You should not be doing it. That is something that it's a business that you have to, personally, I think you have to love doing it. You have to love doing it and you have to know exactly how to run it because it's a very, very sensitive matter. It's a very, very sensitive topic for people, especially when you have to spend so much money to give somebody what you think is the right thing to do. But no, instead, you don't want to look like, man, I can't do this. Like, I don't want to look like a failure. I don't want to look like an idiot. So I'm still going to take your money. I'm still going to put your loved one in a same lot as, I think, 5 other people in there. But, I don't know how to run a business. I'm trying, but I don't know how. And so I kind of found myself in this situation and I should have asked for help. But nope, I didn't do that. Yeah. Nope, I screwed up on that one. You think? Really? Like, come on. So, and like I said before, these families, they're never going to get their money back. They're not. They're not. And then this whole trust fund. And another thing is, they knew what they were doing was wrong because people were coming out 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because somebody called the police. Hey, something's going on over at the cemetery. Somebody's digging up somebody or digging up their grave or whatever. So the police or whoever would come by, do a statement, and the police would just take it as face value. And, oh, okay, well, you know what? They're just doing their job. Well, wait a minute. Why are they doing it at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? It was never in the daytime. Why at night? Why? And if it's a privacy thing, well, then fine. But the thing is there are multiple people who were saying the same things and making the phone calls. And then they would say, but wait a minute, they just buried somebody in there. And now what? They're having what? Another funeral? And that's because they put that person, which a lot of the family members did not know, in the lot. And then they would take the cremation or whatever with all the mix of other people. And what do you think they did with that? So it's very sad. It's a very sad situation. It's just absolutely insane. 16,000 graves, but documents say, which, like I said, of the person, date of birth, the day that they died, the day that they came into the cemetery, whatever. And you go through all the logs, 138,000. So you do the math. How many more bodies did they have to bury that they did not have room for? But the good thing is that I will say real quick is there is a non-profit organization that they started, which I think is absolutely awesome. And it wasn't them. Oh God, no. It wasn't the owner. No. These are people that had no ties to the cemetery at all, who did not know the owner. They came together and said, you know what? We have to do something about this. This is not right. This is not right. So every year, these people come out to the cemeteries and they bust their butts maintaining it. So instead of the trust fund that they had from when originally with the owner, right? That money is gone. It's gone. It's spent. It's gone. It's whatever. These people, and I'll leave the link down below on the people who actually, they literally break their back doing what they can to help maintain and keep the cemetery the way that it's supposed to be. And it's up to 300 people from mowing the lawn, watering the grass, even redoing headstones. Like, these people don't have to do this, but they are. And it's awesome. So if you ever think that you want to get into, I don't know, owning a cemetery or whatever, I think you better know what you're doing. So that's really going to be it for today. But yeah, he was looking at 60 charges. And of course, you know, they had an anthropologist come in. They had what is it called? Anthropologist, but anthropologist / something else. It's like, it's basically somebody who, you know, digs up bones, but it's human bones. It's us. And the guy who the information that they gave about him was just exceptional in his job, his work. He was awesome at doing what he did. And, you know, thank God that we have people that are in this field to do that. But yes, it's unfortunate that the people that are buried there had to go through this, the families, and hopefully it won't happen again. It's just not, it's just another thing in life you just don't do. Because when you go to bed at night, you're the one that has to sleep with yourself. And when you think about it, in the end, it's only going to go so far. There's going to be a time where you're just like, you know what? Nope, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. So, anyways, that's going to be it for today, guys. And like I've said before, you guys just take care of yourselves. Be happy. And yeah, if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. And I thank you guys for watching Here's Some Fearsome. I will see you guys on the next video.